And we're back with episode 3 of Out the Group Chat.
Whoop, whoop.
Woo! This episode, we're going to talk a lot about dating. I would say that's the central theme for today's podcast.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else to say?
I mean, I'm ready to get into it.
We're going to get into it. Okay.
State of dating.
I mean, you're the only one that's
married.
I was going to say in a relationship.
Wait, I am the only one.
Actually, the rest of us are single.
Right. And ready to mingle, actually. Willie is looking, well, you all are technically looking for husbands.
Yeah.
And with that, let's get into it.
Yeah, let's get right into it. Okay, so talking versus dating versus exclusivity. What do these words actually mean in 2025? And is talking just a cop-out or a necessary term? I have my
Talking
opinions.
versus dating versus exclusivity.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's all made up. I feel like when I was 17 dating my high school boyfriend, there was a phase where I was like, yeah, we're talking to each other. But now we are grown. We are adults. I'm nearly 30. There's no reason talking should even be in your vocabulary at this point, I feel like. And I also think like a lot of, at least this whole talking thing or this like, we're not exclusive. It's a way to avoid the actual emotional commitment while still benefiting from like the physical connection, maybe even emotional intimacy. But you're like, oh, but we're not in a relationship.
Well, people have taken the term talking and commandeered it to be an actual part of the relationship when in reality, the talking stage doesn't really exist past like your first initial like meeting or like before your first date, essentially. After the first date,
you're literally dating.
After the
that.
first date, you are dating.
Literally dating.
But people are scared of that word because of the commitment to it, which is just a larger issue of like people being afraid of commitment in this day and age. But people use talking as a crutch to not have to be like, yeah, I'm dating this person, which is crazy.
It's also like, you guys, we could just not stick to these terms. And it's like, hey, like, what are you and so-and-so? We're like, oh yeah, we went on a few dates. We're still getting to know each other, seeing like where this goes. That's a complete answer. You don't have to go into, talking and, we're not this and that. And like, just say what it is. Yeah. But the gag is, I don't think a lot of y'all even know what it is.
Exactly. I think the real issue is that the notions that people have surrounding dating are very archaic. And so when somebody says, oh, I'm dating with that person, or I'm dating this person, they probably already kind of have this assumption in their head that means that they are like boyfriend and girlfriend or exclusive, really. When dating can encompass a lot of different behaviors, you can be dating somebody and obviously not exclusive. You can be dating somebody exclusively. You could just be, you don't even have to physically meet up with the person yet, I think, in order to be technically like quote unquote dating somebody. But I think what people, like I said, people are stuck on the fact that's like, if I say that I'm dating this person, that means that it's only this person and that's it, when it doesn't really have to be that.
Yeah, it's all semantics, but I think people just are scared of like the intimacy of everything. And it's like the further I can pull myself away from being like to actually put emotion into this thing, the easier it is for like me to like continue like navigating. Even if that person genuinely wants a relationship and genuinely wants to be with someone, they're like people are afraid to like show emotion these days. Yeah. Like they're very guarded.
I have a question. So I don't know if this is a Black Southern thing. I've actually never thought about it until earlier today. I was talking to my mom. Are you familiar with, or do you use the term coding?
Sorry?
Okay, so no.
Oh, you mean courting?
No.
He said not actually.
I do think it is a derivative of courting that Black people have just taken, and it's like coating, like, oh, they coating. Like when you are like in church or whatever, and like, you know, the aunties are gossiping, they're like, oh yeah, so-and-so, yeah, they're coating, da-da-da-da.
I've never heard of this.
Never heard of this.
If you know what I'm talking about, please leave a comment.
Yeah.
Because this is something that I've heard my entire life, and I've never heard anyone else outside of family or like other Black Southern people say it. But yeah, that's another made up situation that I just kind of thought about, because I'm like, what the fuck does that mean?
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, never heard it, but cool. I mean, the next topic is dating apps, which you guys will have more up-to-date experience than I do. Are they helping or hurting? Are they just for validation? And I guess which apps have the worst energy?
I do think dating apps have like, there's a positive aspect to them. However, I think they're very different than how they used to be. I still have friends who have met their partners on dating apps. So obviously it's like a luck of the draw thing. The more time you spend on it, the more chances you have to potentially meet someone that you would actually want to settle down with. But like dating apps definitely do not have the culture that they used to. And I often find that like, at least to what I consider like my level to be on, I rarely find a man that is also on that same level. And I'm sorry if it sounds like crazy. I just refuse to date down. I want someone at my level or higher, which just, it makes it very difficult for me as a person because most men I've met are not on my level or even close. So
Clock it.
Not on my level, Nicole.
So yeah, I think they can be helpful, but as of right now, I don't know if, you know, it's very much just you got to get lucky versus there is actual options here.
I would say similarly, I've had successes on dating apps, but I think also currently, like, you know, in my dating app era or this era of dating, I'm very, very, very serious and picky about, you know, who I give my attention to.
As you should be.
So even my profile, it's very clear that, at least I would say my Hinge profile, it's very clear. It's like,
No way.
what?
No, it's because you specified Hinge.
Yeah.
Other
The
things are
others,
not gonna be
however,
that
Yeah. Okay. Well. On my Hinge profile, it's very clear. Like, I'm looking for a partner. These are my, you know, parameters. These are things I'm looking for. And a lot of gay men have commitment issues, I think, and they just kind of don't really know what they want, which is fine. Like, I'm like, you live your life, but I think that, you know, me, I'm like, I don't necessarily want to deal with that because I'm also like very happy and very fulfilled being single. I love my life. But so it's like when I'm looking for a partner, it's like I want someone to share my life with and add to. We can add to each other's life rather than, you know, I am, you know, dragging, you know, this person along. And so I think that also makes it very difficult. And same as you, I don't want to date down.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I personally am very anti-dating app. I don't use them. I do know that that's like the number one way to meet people in this day and age. But I think my issue with dating apps is this sort of like illusion of choice on them. And not even for women. I've seen male dating profiles and it's all swipe, 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 swipe. But for men, you can kind of come across like the profile of hundreds of beautiful women and it gives you this perception of like abundance. And I think when you have that many options, you are never going to really be satisfied with just one. And so you're always chasing after like this new shiny little thing. But very few of those actually turn into matches, let alone dates, let alone conversation, relationships, what have you. And so I think it's led, like dating apps have led to like this general issue with emotional intimacy where people are ghosting people. People are very anti-commitment. They have very avoidant behaviors. Exactly. That's what I think.
Wow. Yeah. I think that was really insightful. I think something that you all kind of touched on a little bit was like the high standards and like preferences within dating. And so do you think that the internet is kind of like gaslighting you into thinking that the bare minimum is too much?
The internet is gaslighting.
I would say less the internet, more straight men. Like they, again, I have, you know, my sister, very close straight girlfriends, and it's like I have seen and experienced their dating life through them, and like these men are wild. It's like I'm just asking you to, I don't know, take me on a date to a restaurant. I'm just asking you to, hey, one day you can fold the laundry. Something like that. It's like, just don't be, you know, a bum. Like, that's all I'm asking. And they're like, girl, like, that's it. Well, they don't say girl. They're like, you know, that's too much. Like, y'all asking for too much. Like, oh my God. Like these females. Ugh.
Yeah.
Is that your straight man voice?
Yeah.
He's not wrong,
Definitely, yeah, it's giving that, unfortunately.
Yeah, I would say like, I guess from the outside looking in, I do see a lot of discourse that kind of like surrounds the fact that people are asking for too much. And in kind of ways that Willie touched on, where it's like, I just want you to show that you care about me a little bit. Like, I don't think that any instances that I've seen of people actually, you know, claiming that this happened, that the person was being overbearing or anything like that. But I also think that like, you know, the internet kind of turns into like this like echo chamber. So you're seeing kind of what you're liking, what you are sort of like attracting in your own environment. And so I feel like a lot of people just weren't raised right.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have experienced relationships that weren't truly reciprocal. And that reflects in their
I also
dating
think
habits.
a lot of people are not comfortable being by themselves, and they get in a relationship just to
100%.
say that they're in a relationship,
100%.
which is always because I'm like,
So
you're
many
miserable. Like,
Yeah.
you're miserable.
Going
Just stop.
off that though, I will say the state of dating, while terrible, has made a lot of women, at least the women in my life, decenter men in a way that was just like unprecedented before. And so I think that is the one positive. If I absolutely had to choose, I think that's a positive of the current state of the dating world. But also on like the flip side of that, if you do express interest in romantic partnerships, sometimes people are like, oh, well, you just need to love yourself or just get a hobby. And it's like, you can both be working on yourself or pursuing certain things, certain hobbies, and still crave partnership because we are human
Say
and we
that.
are deserving
Yeah.
of that.
Period.
So it's not mutually exclusive.
Yeah. I agree. Yes. I agree.
Okay, I think moving on, we should probably get to the topic that I think we all are kind of talking about inherently, but we haven't actually said sort of out loud, is like Black love. And so I think whether we talked about that, you know, like last podcast with like reality television, like with this one, I think specifically talking about, I guess, our own experiences with Black love. How do you feel like you have perceived Black love, been perceived in Black love, and like really what does it mean to you?
Yeah, I'd say for me, unfortunately, all my like terrible experiences with men have been Black men. When it comes to Black love, I have not experienced like positive Black love. So outside of like familial love. So I don't know, Black men, you're on a very thin line when it comes to me.
Honestly what I'm hearing.
It's a
from
very
all
thin
y'all,
line when it comes to
Willie.
I would say for me, obviously it's different with gay men.
Yeah.
And I've like dated Black guys and everything, but I've had like 2 serious relationships, and neither one of them were with Black men. And from that, something that I have pulled is I would like when I picture my husband, he is Black. Like that is like, because there's some things that I don't want to have to, you know, sit and explain. And, you know, I don't want to be nervous if like your family's going to be weird and this and that. I was like, I don't want any of that. And not to say that, you know, that was an issue in my past 2 relationships, but there were some things where it's like, you know, I would say or do something and they're like, what? And I was like, ugh, like I can't, like, I don't want to even explain it to you. I would like to be with a Black person, but then also that I am not completely closed off to not being with a Black man. But specifically with white men, the standards are astronomical, and it's like there are very few that have met those standards, and I think that they are all either married or otherwise taken.
Yeah, like what you're saying is like always something that I think every Black person has in the back of their head when when they are participating in like an interracial relationship where you're saying like, I don't know if your family's gonna be weird. I don't know. Like I don't want to have to like basically code myself or like switch and be somebody or like mask and be somebody that I'm not, or have to like explain myself constantly.
And then on top of that, for me in particular, the white people that I have like very close to me, Geyer, Abby, like obviously like they're one of my closest best friends, and I never ever have to worry about anything like that when I'm with them.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, I'm like, obviously there are people out there that, you know, I feel safe around, I feel understood, I feel seen. And it's like, yeah, like, okay, if I'm with Abby and like I'm, you know, hanging out and I feel like completely like I don't have to think about this or that, it's like, why would I settle for less when I'm looking for like a romantic partner or like a life partner, you know?
Yeah.
Alliyah?
Jumping back to like my take on Black love specifically, I do think I've had very positive representations of it in my life, whether it's my parents, my grandparents, sister, whoever. And even myself, don't get me wrong, like a few have snuck in, but for the most part, I would say I have dated Black men who are kind and thoughtful and intelligent. And I think I'm the only one here who is very, very adamant, like exclusively, like, oh no, I'm strictly only dating Black men. But I also recognize that that sort of like unyielding loyalty to them is very, I don't even know the word. It's like very thankless, or it's not always that rewarding in a way. Just because, like Élise was talking about, like the state of Black men, especially as it comes to dating, is just not all that good. I think there's a couple layers to it, especially going to like the having high standards thing. First of all, if you are exclusively dating Black men, your pool just shrinks and shrinks and shrinks.
Tiny.
Like a lot are in prison, and we obviously can't. It shrinks the pool, like, and there's obviously systematic reasons for that, but that already shrinks that. And then if you add like, oh, I need you to be college educated, a high earner, no kids, like just these other basic sort of things, at least like that.
And
I think about when dating.
Society makes that harder, like,
exactly,
just without you doing anything.
And so since the dating pool is already shrinking, at least as somebody who exclusively dates Black men, I also recognize why people may want to date outside of their race, particularly Black women. I think Black men have always kind of been more likely to date outside their race, but Black women have been more reluctant until recent years. And I'm not mad at it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, I am the only person here who's married, and it is not to a Black person. My husband is white, but I went like I went like
super white,
yeah,
white, like real white.
But I went Norway, like it's European white.
What are you saying?
The quality is so it's a little bit different. American white. Anyway, sorry, but I would say like my definition of Black love, like I think that when I think of Black love, I think of softness, because a lot of portrayals of Black love, I would say that I've either seen growing up or like sometimes what we see in the media, it's like struggle based.
Yeah.
And I would say even within our own community, it can be that in ways that we have internalized as like normal. So like a lot of the ways that men will, and this is, I guess, not exclusively with Black people, but like the way that men will sort of like treat women, like speak to them as if they are like a lower tier, individual in the relationship. Like I feel like a true Black love is people who can be whoever they want to be around each other and like exist in that.
Do you think your experiences with Black love in general is what informs like your perception of it? Because like I hear softness, or I hear like kind of how you felt like no matter what, like I just feel like a black person is who I want to be with. But like for me, it's like I hear what you guys are saying and I completely like understand, but it's like I simply cannot resonate with like that idea. Like when I think of Black love, I don't think of softness, unfortunately, because just for me, it's been like violent. You know what I'm saying? And I do want to say not like my parents or anything like that. My parents are wonderful people, but then there's people in my like circle who have had some very crazy experiences, and it's not to generalize the entire Black male population. That's fucking crazy. And obviously I still have like my mind and my heart open to Black men, but I'm very reserved. I'm very like, my guard is up when I interact with straight Black men, just because my experiences have been so negative. And if you meet me in real life, I just don't think I would ever deserve some of the things that I've had to deal with. It just hasn't been a reflection of my reality.
Yeah, I mean, I really like how you pose that question because I think it's very insightful. I would say that, like, I would try to explain a little bit deeper, like, my perspective in saying that I guess there's, like, two ideas. Like, they're, like, the idealized, like, Black life, like, what I think Black love should be, and I guess what has been portrayed to me. Because what has been portrayed to me has been closer, not personally as in, like, relationship-wise, but, like, the relationships that I've seen and perceived in my life from, like, friends and family. It is very hard. And so I guess I was kind of getting to that a little bit with my point where it's like we are kind of like culturally raised to like see Black love as a certain way, like you're always sticking beside your man. The way that I guess like people interact in like the familial unit is also something that we could get into, but I definitely resonate with what you're saying. It is hard. It's hard when you have those experiences to sort of like separate that.
I think for me, I wouldn't describe it as like violent or like hard or anything like that. A lot of the Black love representation that I've seen is very rooted in racism.
Black love rooted in racism.
Right. It's rooted in religion.
Yes.
Religion and patriarchy.
That is 100%
And it's
part
like,
of it.
I knew I was gay from a very young age. So that's already something that I never saw was queer Black love. And then on top of that, again, it was a lot of, the man is the head of the household. The woman should be submissive and subservient and this and that, which
hate
is
that mindset so
really
much.
crazy, was very kind of crazy to me because, I went to church and this is what I was seeing at church and this is what everyone was preaching, da, da, da. But I will say that is surely not the standard in my family. Like the women in my family, I would never call them submissive or subservient. They are what I like to call city girls. Like it's very much.
We love that.
Yes, it's very much so. It's like they're not gonna take no shit. Like they're not gonna be with no sorry ass nigga, for lack of better terms. And then even like my grandparents, my grandma was like an extremely like strong-willed woman, and I would never again describe her as submissive or anything like that. So I think it's very funny where it's like, at least within Christianity, particularly in the South in Black churches, that is the message around dating and marriage, but it's not necessarily always practiced. So yeah, that is kind of like how that, I guess I would say, my exposure to Black love.
I think something that has sort of been in the background or sometimes the foreground when we've had these discussions is like the concept of interracial dating. And again, as somebody who is in an interracial marriage, I will say I am a fan of Shonda Rhimes and her work. And I feel like, so the concept of like swirl, I feel like that has like a pretty interesting connotation depending on like who you ask. I think it's funny because like as a concept, like in media, like the swirl, like the concept
Is it
of the
seen
swirl.
as different? I thought it was just a funny thing.
Some people are not gagging over it.
Yeah, like I think that like Shonda is one of those examples where it's like it is so like consistent in her work that you're going to have some sort of like white character with a black
in all
or
of her
brown.
work.
Okay,
Literally
I get
all.
what you're saying.
Bridgerton,
In all of her
Scandal,
work, and it is
Grey's
so
Anatomy.
intense and yearning. So I say that she is the head general of the Swirl Army, and like I feel,
sister
but
general.
yeah, exactly. Big sister
Kamala, we miss you.
Yeah.
Come back,
Right. Who is also married to a
She's
white
swirling.
man.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on the swirl? I mean, my thoughts are pretty clear, but yeah.
Alliyah, I'm interested to hear since
Yeah.
you're more just like
I'm not pro swirl.
You want the
It's not even that
Negro.
I'm not pro swirl. I mean, I am like, I think I view this differently when talking about Black men and Black women, actually.
Okay.
I
yes.
think sometimes, not all, but sometimes when Black men date interracially, it stems from like wanting closer proximity to whiteness, hating your Blackness, and therefore you
Clock
don't
it.
date Black women.
Yep.
Versus, from what I've seen, Black women dating interracially goes back to a lot of what we just discussed before. They have had negative dating experiences with Black men. And I think now, even on TikTok, I don't know if you guys remember like the pasta and lobster.
Yes.
And,
Oh,
like,
yeah,
people
yeah.
post like Élise said, sometimes you do have to go where you are loved. Granted, I don't always agree with the framing of like, oh, well, a white man's going to treat me
Are gonna be
better.
better.
So
I was about to
like,
say,
yeah.
I don't always agree with that either, but I just view like the swirl conversation differently, if I'm being honest, between Black men and Black women. That's just what it is.
I would agree with that. And then I would also say that sometimes, or I think it's very easy to tell, there are some Black women who purposefully go for white men as like a status symbol for themselves, as if like I am better than you because I have that. I think you're fucking crazy if that's the reason why you are dating interracially. There are some people who take it to a very weird level that I just don't enjoy. I am swirl thumbs up. I am thumbs up on the swirl.
Announce
Right.
to the world.
I feel like back in like high school and my first couple of years of undergrad, I was very much only Black men. That was like the only thing in my head, and that was like my only interest. And then I think as I continued to like grow and mature, I realized that at the end of the day, I would just prefer to be with whoever is going to treat me the way I think I deserve. So that could be a black man, or that could be someone who's not black. But I am pro interracial relationships, just because I also think that they can be very fulfilling and very really cool. Like the combination of two different cultures, that is, if both people are like people of color. But I mean, I guess white people have somewhat of a culture.
Right.
Listen, I'm just saying. But yeah, I am pro swirl.
So I have dated a white guy before, and I wouldn't say I'm pro swirl, but I'm okay with it. Like, obviously.
Whatever you've got going on over there,
right.
that's
I
fine
don't know
with me.
about that life, but I actually do. For me, in particular, within the gay community, a lot of black men are fetishized and just seen as sex objects. And I don't necessarily think of, like, when someone first meets me, I just don't think of myself as, like I'm a sexy person. I feel like I'm pretty, come off as pretty kind, like, fun, whatever. It's like,
Agreed.
Yeah. So I think a lot of non-black men within the gay community, they find that kind of jarring, because it's like they're expecting, something else, like this, very, this
I see what you're
stereotypical,
saying.
like black,
They're
BBC type
imposing the
situation.
stereotype
And it's
on
like,
you.
Hyper
mama, that's
masculine.
just not me.
You don't
It's like,
feel we're
I
sisters.
yeah, exactly. It's like we're gonna be queening out together.
Right.
So
That's very interesting.
Yeah, so that is something that's always in the back of my mind, is like how is this person viewing me? Are they just looking at me like as, this sexualized person, and they're projecting this, expectation that they have of a black man onto me, or are they like genuinely, they like me for who I am, and I am able to feel comfortable and be comfortable around them, which, again, going back, those standards are very high for white men and non-black men as well. And honestly, if we want to get real, they are very high for Asian men as well.
Interesting.
Because within the gay community, I would say a lot of Asian
They're like the
gays,
opposite.
it's like, it's the opposite. They are expected to be, this stereotypical, I guess, very soft and submissive type situation.
That's what's expected
That's
of
expected of a lot of Asian men, particularly like East Asian men. And obviously, I'm not Asian, but I have, seen a lot of Asian gay men talk about this, where it's like they have this thing in the back of their mind where like, is he with me for me, or am I, being fetishized and projected? They want this Asian fantasy, basically. So it's funny because I'm not Asian, but I feel like black men and Asian men within the gay community have very similar experiences, particularly with white men, but it's like the opposite.
That's so interesting, because I feel like that happens with Asian women as well. Sorry, Élise, go ahead.
Oh no, I just said cool.
Oh yeah.
Like, from what you said.
And so like, I guess from my perspective, it's pretty, like what you were saying, Willie, definitely like resonates. Like I've definitely felt like fetishized from the perspective of like a gay white man wanting me to be hyper masculine. And in those types of settings, I would be, but I think that like, it's like, but like still like the act of it happening is not something that like makes me feel particularly like comfortable. But like also when Élise, you were saying that like black women who exclusively date white men and say they want like lighter skinned children or whatever, I for a moment I thought I had never really like experienced that. But then I remembered actually this one woman that I was not dating, we were sleeping with each other. She was okay with sleeping with me, but would talk about how like, oh yeah, her children are going to be like blue-eyed, like light blonde, like curly haired. And like, and she was the product of an interracial marriage. She was a black girl. And I always thought that was so interesting, because I was like, so you're attracted to me and you think I'm hot enough to like sleep with me, but like, or like your perception of like how your life is going to go after this is like, I'm going to marry a white man.
Right,
exactly. And it particularly felt weird because like I would have wanted to date her and like have a relationship with her, but like she had a mental block, which was very odd.
Yeah. Weird.
I want to know everyone's opinion, or I guess rules, expectations surrounding first dates. Because again, I have very high expectations and standards, not just on first dates, but just people that I'm dating in general. And a lot of people, again, I've seen a lot of people just kind of accepting whatever. But, and I'm not saying it's like, oh, you know, they need.
I mean, he's not wrong.
And it's like, I'm not saying, oh, you need to take me to a 5-star restaurant and all this. Like, I just want you to be someone, like, you clearly want to get to know me. Like, you're a good conversationalist.
Like, be interested in me.
Yeah, and also be interesting. Because I don't want to be sitting at a date or, you know, with someone and I feel like I have to dumb myself down. Because I am a very smart person.
Period.
And I cannot and I refuse to be with someone who is not smart and not like intelligent. And not to say that, and that's not like, oh, you have to have like a medical degree or law degree, but someone who is, again, just kind of like curious about the world. We can have these fun conversations because as a lot of you guys know, it's like I do know a lot of random facts. And that's just because I feel like I am just a generally curious person. And it's like, I would love to be able to like, you know, talk about that with my partner, then also have him, you know, have that same interest of just kind of wanting to like learn and just be educated.
Yeah.
So that I would say that is, I guess, a rule of a first date is like you have to be able to like have an intellectual.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I have a question. So for you, if someone were to ask you out on a date, do you just like, you know how with straight relationships, it's expected for the man to like pay and stuff like that? Is it the same in your situation?
So it's been
in your situation.
Is
it
Right. For you people.
For you people.
So I can't speak for everyone, but I know for myself, I have always been of the mindset of if I ask someone out and I'm like, oh, we're like planning the date, I would pay, like I'm gonna pay for it.
You are taking them out.
Taking them out. And then to be honest, the men that I, you know, am going out with, a lot of them also have that same mindset. But yeah, I've also had dates where we did go 50-50, but with those dates, it's like, okay, I planned part 1, he planned part 2 type situation. But also I always go into it fully prepared to pay for everything just in case.
Just in case.
But some gay men are not of that mindset. And it's so funny because I think within the queer community, there is a lot of trying to fit heteronormative standards in dating.
Definitely.
And it's like, you know at TikTok sound is like, everybody want to be the girl who be the boy. I hated that trend, mostly because it gave straight women a reason to be homophobic.
Yes.
But then also,
I don't even
it's
know
just
this
like,
trend.
it was...
You've never heard
of it?
I don't think I heard this trend at all.
Everybody want to be a girl who gonna be the boy.
No, I've not heard that
But
trend.
I've seen people commented. I've seen it like everywhere.
Yeah, it's not cute. But I feel like that is the mentality in a lot of gay men. It's like, oh, like, you know, I want this heteronormative, you know, relationship. And I'm like, baby, it'll never be that. Like, you are 2 men. Period. Like,
you are gay.
Like, so it's like, it's never gonna be that. And then that also kind of bleeds into, and I know I'm kind of going long, but that also bleeds into the top bottom debate because again, a lot of people, I'm seeing both in and out of the queer community now. It's like they look at someone who is, you know, a bottom or like they, you know, prefer to bottom during sex, and it's like, oh, they're the feminine person in the relationship. They are submissive versus someone who is the top. It's like, oh, there's the man in the relationship. And it causes just a lot of issues within the queer community. And it's another thing that, again, I'm very much so in the back of my mind always thinking. A lot of times, I've seen this a lot recently on dating apps. It's like people are straight like, you have to be masculine. Like, I want to be with someone that's masculine, which is like, it just turns me off because I'm not saying I'm not masculine, but it's like, that's just weird to me. It's weird.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting.
Alliyah, do you have any?
I think mine are very simple. You will plan it and you will pay for it. But I also loved what you said about being interesting because I've had that conversation with Bailey before. Because I'm always like, oh, but our banter was so good or this or that. And I'm realizing I am the banter. Like I can low-key talk to anybody, I think, and like have it be fun and lighthearted. And so a lot of men are simply not interesting. And I think now I pay a lot more attention to like, what are you bringing to the conversation? Or am I carrying it?
You know what? And that's very true. Cause I'm like thinking back to like, just like people that I've talked to in the past. And it would always be me like remembering little things or me bringing up situations or me like bringing up fun little anecdotes and stuff like that. And the person would like react to it, but they never had substance to add.
Yeah.
That just made me realize that because I'm like, I'm the party here. Like,
Exactly.
who are you? Well, yeah, I think I would say like first date rules. I feel like I would have the same as any like just like general person in the sense that like, if you're asking me out on a date, I would prefer for you to have something well planned out. I don't think I'm an individual who like, it has to be something extravagant or it has to be like a fancy restaurant. I'm honestly pretty like lax when it comes to most things, but I do want there to be some type of intention and effort in the date. I feel like that would be preferred.
Since we've run through our first date expectations, we need to talk about our dating or general dating rules that I see a lot on social media, and I want to know your thoughts on them.
All right.
Okay, coffee dates. Jelani?
Personally, I think that it would be fine because it's a very, I guess, like low stakes way to like meet somebody and like it's kind of like a screener interview. It's like, oh, let's get a coffee, even though I don't drink coffee, and just like kind of chat. And I think that like going back to what you guys said earlier, if you can keep me engaged and I feel like I'm into you based off of this like very no frills interaction, then we can go on a second date and like get deeper from my perspective.
I'm not opposed to a coffee date. Like, I feel like if it's like a cute coffee shop tea, I would prefer like a tea shop or something like that. It can always transition into something more. Like if you guys are really feeling each other, it's like, okay, let's go do this. Let's go do that. And like,
I like that.
I'm very much a go with the flow type of person. So I don't look at a coffee date and like scoff. Like, I don't think it's like a bad thing. I do think for some men it's a cop out. It's the easiest thing to do, but I don't always think it's a bad thing.
Okay, Willie.
I'm good with a coffee date. If what?
Not you. Alliyah's like,
I know.
I don't want to date
Alliyah's
no
waiting,
broke nigga.
yeah.
She's like, you better spend your fucking money on me.
No, Alliyah's in shock right now.
She's like, whoa.
I'm the only one who is like, no. What?
The silence was deafening.
Let me go.
Willie, continue.
So I'm fine with it, but it is I'm not going to be going on a coffee date with just anybody. It's like you have to be again a specific person. It's like again if we have
you gotta
already
look
like,
a certain way,
you know. Okay, well I didn't say that.
We got to mesh well.
Exactly. It's like okay, we've already been having good conversation like on the apps or whatnot, and it's like okay, yeah, it's like yeah, I would love to just kind of like sit and have a coffee with you and talk about this or that. Like I would do that, but it's like if it's like we just matched yesterday and I don't really know you like that or like know anything about you, I don't want to go on a coffee date because then it's like if it's awkward, I'm gonna have to leave. It's like so.
Then you leave.
And it's like, and I will. It's like, yeah,
I will.
And I think a lot of people do use it like, oh, like let's grab coffee.
Like it's a cop out.
Like instead of chatting on the apps, and it's like I think talking on the apps is beneficial because it's like I need to vet you, and it's like even if you don't know you're being vetted, I know that I'm vetting you, and if it's like I'm not feeling you, it's like I'm not gonna meet you up with you in person.
Yeah, going just without having any previous conversation
crazy.
with them is insane.
Yeah.
Never.
I think a coffee date is insane regardless. Like I'm not going on anybody's coffee date. I feel like it's such a low effort way
to get to really cute like
I go to a lot of cute coffee shops all the time. I'm not going there for a date. I feel like you will hop on Open Table, make a reservation, and we could go from there. Granted, I do understand some people are like, oh well, you know, like why invest? Like it's a way to determine compatibility that's very quick, I think. But no, for me personally, I'm actually very shocked. All of you were like,
Oh,
Listen, like I said, it's not everybody that
Yeah.
you would go on a coffee date with per se. But I'm just saying that like it is not completely ruled out for me.
I have also never been on
I was gonna say,
one.
I have also
I've
never
never
been on
been
a
on
coffee.
one.
Also, none of us have ever been.
that
on
is
one.
also true.
So
You're saying it now.
Right.
You're gonna come back and be
I
like,
was
this
gonna
nigga
say,
bought
We
me
might
coffee?
not actually believe what we're
it. So it's
saying.
like I've never experienced. So this is ideally,
No.
but I've
They're out.
never done any
Never
of
experienced
this
that
lifestyle. So I don't know what you got going on over there.
That's not me.
Okay. If you aren't in a relationship or exclusive within 3 months, he doesn't like you. Do you guys agree?
If you aren't in a relationship or exclusive by 3 months, I would definitely say that like, well, at least to me, in my opinion, it does not take more than 3 months to know if you want to be with someone, in my genuine opinion. If your boyfriend, girlfriend versus like being exclusive, okay, whatever. Maybe some people like there's a little bit of variation there, but like 3 months is a long fucking time. How many weeks is 3 months? 12? 12 weeks?
That's a long time.
12 weeks. That's like an entire series like of a TV show week to week. Like what more do you need to determine if you want to be with this person? I think 3 months is more than enough.
An entire season of Scandal.
Yeah, like
Yes.
get out.
I am same. I was like that, baby. If you don't know by 3 months,
Just pack it up.
I'm like that's crazy because it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like if you genuinely like, okay, I'm trying to look for a partner, like, you know, I'm spending time with this person.
If you guys are actively seeing each other, I feel like
Yes.
some people like they might go on a date and then it's like a month before they like see each other.
Yeah.
I think that's
Actively.
Yeah, I was
Yes,
gonna say that's
actively.
definitely different. But yeah, like you said, actively, you know, seeing each other. I'm like, I'm also a extremely decisive person in all aspects of my life. So yeah, I know very quickly if I'm gonna vibe with someone.
That's not common though.
I know.
A lot of people are not decisive.
People are not decisive. I'm a Capricorn, so I know Elise.
means nothing.
No, I definitely agree with that.
Spoken like a Scorpio, I will say.
I think if you aren't in a relationship or exclusive within 3 months, he doesn't like you enough. Because you definitely know way before then.
Word to
Just,
Janae.
you know. Okay, not texting him first in the beginning stages. How do you feel?
Wait, what do you mean first?
Listen.
Like, you know, some people are like, oh, I'm not going to text him first because that feels too like.
Is this like after the first date or like on a
I think
first?
this is
any
just talking to
beginning
the person,
stages,
like,
yeah.
being the first person to like text.
initiate the
And I
conversation?
will personally say, I personally do not give a fuck about stuff like that. I'm very much I'm like a double, triple. I text so many things. Like I text in like my stream of consciousness. So the way that like I behave is not going to change because I'm interested in somebody. In my opinion, if someone truly likes me, they will like take all my like weird mannerisms and things that I do as like endearing versus like, oh, what the fuck is this person doing? Now that doesn't mean I'm like bombarding people that I don't know with like back to back text messages. I am a normal person. It's just more so I don't think I pay too much attention about like I have to be or he has to be the first person to text me or like I can't text him first because it's been 6 hours and like this, that, and the third. I think I don't think too hard about stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
I
would-
will. Oh, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, yeah, I would agree. I think when I was like younger, you know, in college, that was something I thought.
You went to college?
Yes, I went to the
Right.
esteemed University of Florida
Right.
God.
in Gainesville. That's anteaters. That's anteaters.
Oh, sorry, what's the...
I know that literally is great.
That is
The
not.
school you went to.
to. But yeah, sorry. A requirement of being a UF alumni is to be extremely annoying about it.
Right.
But so yeah, when I was like in college, like younger, that's something I would think about and kind of stress over. But now I'm like, that's just not something I necessarily think about because again, it's like, okay, if I text you and you don't text me back, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna move on with my life. Like,
Yeah.
we don't know each other. I don't know you like that. We don't know each other. It's fine if you text me. I text like I talk as well, but
Yeah.
in the sense that it's a long block message of like just like think because it's like, okay, I'll say this and then it's like, oh, I remember this, da 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 da. But it's still cohesive. So I think a lot of people kind of find that off-putting because it's like they want to. It's like the one line, two
It's a
line,
huge chunk
but it's like
of information.
I mean, like it's almost like we're having a conversation, so I have a lot to say in response to what you said. And I find it's really nice when someone matches that because it's like, okay.
I was gonna say the right person will
know.
respond well to things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say like when I was dating, I was more aligned with what Élise said. Like I text in like a stream of consciousness. So like if I'm thinking about you, I'm gonna text you. So I wouldn't really like be sort of contemplating like, oh, they haven't texted me in a while, unless it's been like a consistent pattern. Like if I'm constantly the person that's like putting in, then it's like after a while I'm just gonna be like, you're not texting me, like you know. But I think like a healthy back and forth is like very nice.
And,
so
but then
like,
you just move on. It's like if the person if it's not working, you just move on. Yeah.
And last but not
Wait, you
least,
answer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I agree with all of you.
Okay.
I feel like when I was younger, it was definitely something I paid attention to, and I was definitely on the side of like, oh, well, I'm not going to text him first. I feel like the older I've gotten, the less I've cared, to be honest. And unless it's a consistent pattern, then we might have an issue. But otherwise, I'm not going to be on you. But I don't really care about texting or double texting.
Screaming.
And then last but not least, rosters in or out. I've actually never had a roster.
I've also never
so I
had
don't
a roster.
know.
There was a point in time where I was like, but it was never. It was the thing about rosters is it's like multiple. I mean, we know
We'll get to that.
That's why you're last. I would say for me, like I've never had like I guess a traditional roster in the way people like typically think about them, because I just simply would not engage with multiple people at the same time. I'm just not interested in that. So I have had like back to back where it's like this person, okay, then like the next month it's a new person, and then the next month it's a new person but only one time, and then I go back to the person from the first month.
Okay, I see.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like a rotation of like the same.
That's what a roster is.
But I feel like a roster is it's all at once. It's like you are dating, like it's week by week by
it's
week
like
by
let
week.
me see who I'm gonna hit up today.
Yeah,
this
like
weekend.
I didn't do
I
my situation.
did not do that. It was more so chunks of time where it's like, okay, me and this person are just, hooking up or whatever, and we both know that's all it is. But I'm someone who I just can't, and it's not like it's a situation where it's like, oh, I'm scared or this or that. It's just like, it's just too much. It's just too much. Like I don't.
A lot going on.
It's a lot, and it's like I do not like to put myself in stressful or uncomfortable situations, and that to me is like that's unnecessary stress that I'm adding to my life. With that, it's like, okay, I'm juggling these 5-6 people, and it's like
it's a lot of people.
It's too much.
Like,
it's
what?
like, and it's like I don't care to be doing all that with that many people, and it's also it's like I don't, how do you get to all these people? Because it's like I have a life outside of this,
Right.
Like, so,
Jelani, tell us about your escapades.
I literally, I don't
here
know
all
why
day.
I'm being singled out here.
because
you know why.
You are always like, oh, I was a hoe.
Okay.
He will let you know.
Be that as it may, that was the truth. But your definition of a roster, I never had. I definitely had a lot of random one-night encounters with a multitude of different people.
Right.
Some people I did encounter more than once. One of them I married. But like generally it was a lot of random one night stands. Like it would be like, oh, a Wednesday night, like I'm bored and I finished my homework, like who's,
And then
like
Thursday
online.
night,
Yeah,
and
and
then
then
Friday
Friday,
night.
and then Saturday, and then Sunday, and then yes.
Okay, so I understand. It was never really a roster
Like,
per se.
yeah, I didn't have like
It was just like
a gaggle
one-night
of people in
stands.
my phone who was like, oh, I'm gonna hit you up. Oh, you didn't answer. Like, oh, I'm gonna hit you up.
This
It was
nigga said
never
a
that.
gaggle of people.
So gay.
But no,
Yeah,
that's fair.
I never had a traditional roster.
I see.
Yeah.
Like
You were
that
just
was
so-
not.
Okay, our fault.
Yeah, I was going through it.
You were
Right.
active.
Going through them.
What about yourself, Alliyah? You keep dodging these questions.
I'm not dodging the questions. I started by saying I've never had a roster.
Oh, okay.
She did.
She did
Okay.
say that.
Oh,
I
yeah,
apologize.
listen, Willie, thank you.
Right.
OMG.
Pride Month is. Oh, it's not over.
Yeah.
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 I
So
got
that,
the
yeah, careful how you speak to me.
I won't be.
All right, let's do a little bit of advice because we know you guys love to hear what we have to say.
And we're good at giving advice, but not
Right.
legal advice.
Yeah.
This isn't legal advice.
Correct.
Ever.
So let's see. Our first question for advice that we have from our lovely audience is, how do I deal with non-reciprocal relationships? And this can be, there's a bit of context. This can be like individuals who maybe downplay your accomplishments, maybe... What else?
What else? I mean, individuals who maybe just generally, I feel like non-reciprocal is like you're not giving the energy that I give back.
How do we deal with someone? How do each of you individually deal or would deal with someone like that?
So I can go.
Right.
So I don't know
Please.
if this person was referring to like romantic partners, friendships, but when it comes to this in particular, it's all the same for me. If you are not, I love and care very deeply. And it's when I'm like, okay, I want to, get to know this person and bring them in my life as a friend. I genuinely I want to know, I'm, asking questions, let's hang out, da 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 da. I would want that reciprocated as well. But if it's not, I'm just gonna drop you, especially at this stage in my life.
Yeah.
Girl, you're just gonna have to speak up. If they're like your real friend, they are going to, be able to hear what you're saying, accept it, reflect on it, and put changed behavior behind it.
Yeah. I think for me, especially as someone who is very non-confrontational and has a hard time actually putting my foot down when people disrespect me, I've come to learn that I simply do not have to engage with or accept behavior that I would not, or treatment that I would not give to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what I have to constantly tell myself to get past this roadblock I have in my head of I never want to inconvenience other people or hurt other people's feelings, even if they are a shitty person. All of them can tell you I've been in a lot of crazy situations where I was fully in the right to cuss someone the fuck out. But even then, it's I would still be the one apologizing. I don't know.
No.
Basically, the point is you don't have to take things.
Right. So reciprocal relationships, I feel like as somebody who recently had a situation where I had to basically a friendship was dissolved, I would agree with Willie. You need to make it known that whatever energy that they're not giving you is something that you're perceiving, because if they don't know, then you give them a chance to correct it. Mm-hmm. But if they do know, then that just confirms for you that this isn't a relationship that you need to pour into anymore. Mm-hmm. I've definitely been in situations where I'm because I feel like I'm a giver. I give a lot of my time and emotions to people very quickly. If I identify that we're like this, I'm okay, I'm all in. I will be your roll dog from day one, And so I feel I've been in a lot of situations where I've been okay, I'm the one that's constantly reaching out. I'm the one thinking of things to do and constantly sort of giving you my energy. And you have not been, reciprocating that. And I feel as I've gotten older, I've gotten more comfortable with the fact that you can just cut people off and you don't have to deal with them anymore. And so that's definitely the
that's
type
what
of
I was
time
trying
I'm
to
on.
say.
Especially
Is that you
at
can just cut people
our
off.
grown age.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Too grown for that.
Yeah, I feel like this was a really good conversation. I think we touched a lot of things that we've clearly all experienced in dating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, I truly believe that if you want something as far as relationship and you have, your expectations, it'll come to you. Mm-hmm. Especially if you're a good person, you're putting out that energy, you worked on yourself and everything, it'll come to you. So yeah.
And
Be
respect
focused.
yourself.
I would say
yourself.
be focused and don't settle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love
That's it.
yourself.
Yeah.
I'd say
But that
love
also
and
goes for
respect yourself,
friendships
yeah.
and romantic partnerships.
Yes.
So know your
Yes.
self-worth always. Thank you guys so much for watching our third episode of Out the Group Chat. You can find us all collectively on OTGC Pod across all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
You can find us on our individual pages. Jelani.
I am It's Just Jelani on Instagram and Just Jelani on TikTok.
I'm eltheegg on TikTok, Élise the Egg on YouTube, and Élise Osafo on Instagram.
Yeah. On TikTok, I'm willieduhart, and on Instagram, willie.duhart.
And for me, _Alliyah T, Fit with Alliyah or Leah's Legal Life.
Thanks for watching.
Bye, guys.